welcome back to BeTerrific's continuing coverage of CE Week 2016, live from New York City. I'm your host, Jason Aaron, and right now, I got to tell you how excited I am. I'm here with Danny of Roli. Danny, I didn't tell you this before we went on, but I'm a musician.
Oh, no way.
Yes.
You're surprising me live on air.
That's it.
I'm completely ruined now. I should have prepared something else.
See, I mean, there it is. So, yeah, no, I mean, I played in a band for years. I play guitar. I'm a songwriter. And you walked in with this. Immediately, I got excited.
Yeah.
But I still have no clue what I'm looking at.
That's not surprising. But it really excites me that to hear that you're a musician, first of all, but also to hear that you're a guitarist. Because I feel like because you're a guitarist, there is a part of this instrument that will appeal to you immediately. And so when you look at this right off the bat, what do you see? What does it remind you of?
I mean, I see a keyboard. There's clearly, notes. It looks like we got half steps, whole steps.
Yeah, I think you're right. You recognize immediately the geography of a keyboard, and it looks to you like it is one. And in a lot of ways, it is a reimagining of the keyboard. The instrument you're actually looking at is called the Seaboard, and it's a radically new musical instrument. Nothing like this has ever existed before. And it's made by a company called Roli. And Roli is a music technology startup company. We're based in London. And the objective of our company is to expand the bandwidth of interaction between people and technology. And we've applied this to musical instruments. And there are a couple parts to our company. We have a hardware aspect, we have a software aspect. But the heart of the hardware aspect is this instrument right here, the Seaboard. And as you said, it looks like a keyboard. But what it does is it utilizes a silicone interface, which is this interface right here, that's embedded with sensors. And that interface gives it extremely subtle and precise multi-dimensional control so that you can shape sound through touch. So you're a guitarist. You have a lot of experience shaping sound through touch. For you, it's natural and intuitive. But for a keyboardist, it might not be. Because when you play a chord on a guitar, you can hold the string, and as you hold the string, you can achieve vibrato just by moving your finger along that chord, and you have this real-time physical manipulation of the sound. And the Seaboard allows you to do just that. So when you play the Seaboard, you're actually utilizing 5 dimensions of touch interaction. The traditional piano has what I would call one-dimensional touch interaction. When you strike it, you can either strike it hard or you can strike it soft. You can go from pianissimo to fortissimo. And that changed when we went from the harpsichord, which had 2 layers, a hard layer and a soft layer, and all of a sudden there was this radical reinvention when all of a sudden you had 1 layer of keys and you could manipulate it by the velocity of your touch. And so what we've done now here, subsequently 400 years later, is we have introduced the next generation of pianos. And we've added on to that 1 dimension 4 more. And what I mean by that is when I play it, I can't just strike it, but I can also move my fingers all along its surface. I can move them up and down, inwards and outwards, and all that physical manipulation sculpts my sound. So when I play a C on a keyboard, what sound do I produce? I produce C. I get exactly that. But when I play C on a saxophone, for example, the sound that I produce is informed by so much more than just what key I held down. The sound that I produce is changed by how hard I'm breathing, whether my cheeks are tight, whether I'm biting the reed. All of these physical subtleties lend themselves to the sound that I've created. And this instrument allows you to do that.
So, how does it work?
So here's how it works. Right now you're looking at the Seaboard Rise 25. It's called the Seaboard Rise 25 because it has 25 key waves, which replace the keys of a traditional piano. It has the same geography, but when I strike it, you'll notice that the sound I get changes based on how I strike. So if I have a soft strike, or a hard strike. From there, I can achieve vibrato just by moving my finger along the key. I can also slide down the surface of the entire instrument. The entire surface is interactive. The patch I'm playing right now is a string and it's a strings and horns patch. So when I play down here at the bottom, I get the strings, but as I slide my finger up, I slide into the horns. And all of a sudden I'm playing an entirely different section of the symphony just by moving my hands along the surface. I also have velocity control, so when you hear the orchestra swell, I can control the swell of the orchestra just by pressing into the instrument. I can also control the release of the orchestra. So if I take my fingers off quickly, I can let the orchestra ring out, or I can let it cut quickly, just by how quickly I move. So there are, as I said, 5 dimensions of touch control. The first one is strike. Then after that I have glide, movement left to right, slide up and down, press in and out, and lift.
That's amazing. And then what are the other keys on the side here?
So these actually are what helps you modulate the sensitivity of the instrument. So you're a guitar player. To you, this would be very natural. But to a keyboardist, it might be a little overwhelming because the entire surface is interactive. If I were to slip up while playing the piano and land slightly to the right of the key, it doesn't make me sharp. I still get that sound. But on this, it's different. If I were to land slightly right of the pinnacle of that key wave, it would be sharp. But if I slide this down, it begins to auto-correct my pitch so that I have more flexibility to play and be right on key. If I were to turn this down completely, it turns it into a keyboard. So if I run my hand across, it sounds just like I'm running across a keyboard.
Amazing. I'm assuming one of these buttons is for octaves control?
Exactly. This changes my octave control right here. This changes the patch that I'm using, so it changes the sound.
Now, I noticed that we have an iPhone sitting on top here. What is sort of the interaction between the instrument and the technology and how I use it?
That's actually one of the most exciting parts and one of the most revolutionary parts about this instrument. This is an instrument called controller. And so what that means is that it doesn't have any software inside. It doesn't make any music, it just makes data. When you buy this controller costs $799, and it comes for free with our synthesizer software. It's a beautifully powerful piece of software, and it's what enables this to make all of the sounds. So you plug this into your computer, or at least that's what you would do on a traditional MIDI controller, and then from there you get the sound. However, this controller is actually fully wireless. It plays its data over Bluetooth, and it also has 8 hours of continuous play battery life. And so I can play this thing for 8 hours straight. It won't run out of juice. But the really interesting thing is I'm not tethered to my laptop anymore the way I would be with a traditional controller. We have a free app for iOS devices called Noise. And I can get Noise, even if I'm not a Roli customer, even if I don't own the hardware, I can go to the iOS App Store right now, download Noise, and what we'll do is we'll turn the surface of your phone or your iPad into a Seaboard. And so I can play the Seaboard right over my phone. It works particularly well on the iPhone 6S because the iPhone 6S is force touch sensitive. And so I get some of that multi-dimensional touch control just from a phone. But the really cool thing is, because this is Bluetooth enabled, and this is Bluetooth enabled, if you do own our hardware, this device will link seamlessly over Bluetooth with your iOS device, and you can play right through there. It's a background running app, so I can have this asleep in my pocket, I can have my headphones plugged into my phone, and I can have this on my lap in the subway, and I can be playing right there with my own completely mobile studio. This was so revolutionary, actually, that we unveiled this instrument in October of last year. We started shipping it in September, and right after that, we were at the Consumer Electronics Show in Las Vegas, and this was actually named the most innovative computer peripheral product of all of 2016.
That's amazing.
Up against all the rest of the show, and we, as a small, tiny music tech startup, we were thrilled.
That is amazing, and so people understand because you've seen the close-up and you see the phone. I mean, the phone is just resting on the device right now. It's not tethered to it in any way, and the cable is only so we can give our viewers the sound. It's just
exactly.
It's essentially like having a set of headphones. That cable is just running into our mixing board.
Exactly.
So it is completely separate.
wireless.
That is amazing. And so now I like this. I see this. I'm a musician. I have a Pro Tools set up. How am I working with this?
So this fits really nicely into your existing setup. As I said, if you're a real music nerd out there and you understand what I'm saying right now, the software synthesizer that it comes with, Equator, is brilliantly powerful. No other MIDI controller has ever exported this many mappable parameters before. And it's designed specifically for that, and it's free. It's about $250 value, something like that, but it comes free with purchase. You can also use this with any other existing software on the market. So if you have other things that you're using like Logic or Pro Tools, this will work just fine with that. We have an excellent support team, and they'll explain to you how to make this work perfectly with your existing software. A lot of folks are currently using this. Just to give you some examples, if you're into film scores and film composition, Oscar-winning and Grammy-winning composers such as Hans Zimmer and A.R. Rahman use this all the time. Hans Zimmer did the scores for the Batman movies, Inception. He did the music for Lion King, if you're into that. And A.R. Rahman did the music for 100 Foot Journey and Slumdog Millionaire. If you're into electronic music, BT, Jamie XX, Swedish House Mafia, they're all using this. If you're in more to hip hop, Ariana Grande and also Meghan Trainor just came out with new albums. This was used on all of their new albums. Drake, his producer, 40, is a huge fan of ours and uses this all the time. It's been really exciting to see this get out into the world.
That's amazing. I happen to be close with Alan Silvestri. He was in our last
documentary.
I'd love to get his hands on this.
Yeah, for
Get
sure.
you guys in touch.
For sure.
And it's amazing. So where can I find out more about this? And
so the best place to find out more about this is to actually go to our website. You can go to www.roli.com, and you'll find all about our products, who's using them, how to learn how to use them, what software and hardware it works with. If you want to buy one, you can buy them directly from our website, roli.com. You can also buy them from all of your local music shops. You can get them from Guitar Center, Sam Ash, Joe's Music on the Corner, wherever you'd like to go. If you're living in Canada, you can go to Long and McQuaid. And we're sold right now in 14 countries globally.
That's
which
amazing.
Is tremendously exciting.
From startup to 100 miles an hour. That's incredible.
It's been tremendously fast-paced, but also very exciting. And we're really happy to be here at CE Week. The company has a lot of wonderful things in store, and Roli will be a name that your viewers will certainly be hearing more of in the future.
I hope so. You heard it here, Danny. Thank you so much for joining us. Check this out. I'm excited to get my hands on it, and so I'm gonna get off the air. We'll be back with more live continuing coverage on BeTerrific from CE Week 2016 here in New York City at the Metropolitan Pavilion. We'll be back.